Hey guys, and welcome yet again to another one of my videos. Yes, I am live. I was just checking. So today it's going to be about making a enhancing my game Eggyoke, which I just launched in open beta last week on the Google Play Store. You can find it there. The link is in the description below. But you can also just Google Eggyoke. That's Eggyoke. Eggyoke, yeah. And yeah, it's a very simple arcade game that I made over the past months, couple of months or so. Here you can see it. I've already done a video about it. And what I want to do now, first off, I think is fix a problem that I'm having right now with giving the daily reward. So what I wanted to implement was, oh, I should make this, yeah, let's maximize on play. Right, so if we look here, each time you start the game, like you start the game as in it wasn't closed, it wasn't minimized or closed, yeah. So each time you do that, it should say the amount of consecutive days that you've been playing the game and what bonus that gives you to your lives, right? And the idea is that um, if you play this day after day after day, then you'll get a 1 extra life whenever you start off the game. So at this point you start off with 3 lives, but if you were to play it tomorrow and the day after the day after as well, then you would probably be getting more than that. Is my audio okay? I think it is. Let's see. I think it should be. It should be. Let's just go ahead and slightly, yeah. Yeah, and this is the game, just in case you're wondering. It's just eggs rolling down these ramps, and you have to catch them with your kangaroo in his kangaroo pouch. And yeah, that's just all of it, all there is to it. It's an arcade game, so the idea of the game is to get a big of a high score as you possibly can, highest high score possible. Can I not move these? Why can I? Oh, okay. There we go. Right, so the problem is I don't know exactly why, but it's not working. At least it's not working as intended. I did start and modify the code a bit, but I'll get into that a bit later. Now, there are plenty of ways to do that. I mean, first and foremost, this is an offline game, so I'm not going to bother with with checking that players don't cheat. I'm not going to think that far off into the future. I mean, if players do want to cheat, whatever, they can, as long as they play the game. I don't really care that much, to be honest. But this is a nice bonus to get whenever you play a game daily, and if you do play it daily, then you shouldn't be thinking about cheating on it. Right, so the idea about doing this is that you probably, oh wait, I was supposed to comment on a couple of stuff on Reddit, and then yep, here as well. I want to promote a bit my channel as I'm going live. So there we go, promotion started. Alright, getting back into it. There's a couple of ways to do that, and I was just reading about that over here on these daily rewards searches that I've done. It was already implemented, but it's not working properly. So the way that I did it now is that I save the last day that you've played locally in your system. Wait, in your player prefs. So I have a last day played string, and in that string I save the last day, the last date that you've played. And once that is in, then you can the next time that the game loads, it checks by obviously today is going to be a bigger number than last day played was, so it checks that, and it does a today minus last day played, dot days, which means it translates whatever it finds to days, because if it wouldn't do that, it would just show you it would just show you like minutes, seconds, minutes, hours, days, all of that jazz, one after the other, and that's not what I'm looking for. And the problem with this is that you would essentially need to actually play more than a whole day, because I don't think that if it's 23 hours that it rounds it up to one day. I don't think that it does. I think that it just takes the days out, right? I would I would think. I would think that it does only that. It only takes the days out. So it doesn't do any rounding up or rounding down. And because I have the switch case afterwards, it probably doesn't do things as it should. Now, I am going to be moving this code from over here because it's not where it should be. I'm going to move it in a separate function. So let's see, how long do we go about doing this? I think this is all of the code. Yes, I think this is all of it. So let's go ahead and clear it out of there. Is that correct? I think that is correct. Yeah. Let's name this function calculate daily days for daily. That's a good enough name, I'd say. Let's go ahead and let's go to the end of that, and we'll call that void calculate daily. No, wait. How did I name it? Such a bad programmer. Calculate days for daily. Okay. Calculate days for daily. There we go. So we're getting the string. First and foremost, we're getting the string, which I'm going to call last date, from the player profs, and it's going to be called last days played. And if it's empty, that means that last day played is today. And I should also save that, right? Yes, I probably should also save that as well. Actually, I'm going to save this further down anyway, so you know, that doesn't matter. Okay, and if it's not today, then I'm going to parse it, because this is a string, so I have to parse it back from a string to a date time format. And so last day played is going to be the last time that you've played, and afterwards I'm doing this. Integer days delta is going to be today minus last day played dot days, and this doesn't work properly. At least I don't think that it does. Right, because even if it rounds up, that might not be exactly what I'm looking for, because it might just be that I've played today at 1 in the morning because I couldn't go to sleep, whatever, and then I played like one game at 1 in the morning, and then also today, before I go to sleep again, I'm going to play again at around, I don't know, 11:30 or something like along those lines. And if it does do a roundup, it's going to find that between 1 in the morning and 11:30, there's been like 22 hours between those two times that I've played, and it's going to say that, well, look at you, you've actually played 2 days in a row, which is not going to be calendaristically correct. So what I want, the behavior that I want, is that if I play today, and today is the 2nd of March 2019, I don't want to get the bonus until I reach the 3rd of March, so after midnight, and then I get the bonus for consecutive days played. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. So what I'll have to do probably is, I mean, I'll keep this days delta, maybe. Should I? I don't know that I will. Maybe I will keep those, and And yeah, what I'll do actually is I'm going to say today.day, so it will just extract the day, and last day played.day, right? So that's going to be the delta in days. Does that make sense? And let's see if that delta is going to be anything other than 0. But first off, let me go through the rest of the algorithm, so just so that you guys understand what I was trying to do. And then after I get the days delta, I take the day streak, which is a global variable that I declared all the way up here, and it's initialized at 0 always. I take that, and I get it from the player int, because this needs to be saved as well, because if you get 1 or 2 days consecutive plays, you need to save that streak in the player prefs, else the game won't know, right? So then I switch the days delta, which is over here, was the difference in days, and in case it's 0, that means that it hasn't been a day yet, right? That should make sense. In case it's 1, it means that a whole day has passed, at least 1 day has passed. And then I increase the day streak, and I set the integer for day streak with the new day streak, right? In case it's default, which means it should be bigger than 1, I then go with day streak gets 0, and I save that. I could probably just take this code out of here, place it here as well, because that just seems like a waste of lines of code, maybe. And afterwards, when I finish all of that, I reset today to the last time that I've played. So last day played, I reset it to today, and yeah, and then I save all of that. And afterwards, don't take that debug into consideration, I set the day streak lives, which actually sets the amount of lives that you see on the screen right here. Oh, somebody wrote me. Oh, I've got somebody, someone joined my Discord. That's nice. Welcome. And afterwards, when I right, so these are the lives that you see over here, and these are set by the day streak lives. If we go a bit up, it should be set actually. Yeah, when continue gets hit, then it initializes the lives with the day, because continue gets hit by, if I'm not mistaken, by clicking on the daily thingy. Oh, the button. Yeah, the button on the screen. So this one. Where's daily reward? Play. I forgot to set this? How did I forget to set this? Okay, let's do it now. These are just some anchors that I'm using for these UI elements. Basically all of my game is UI elements, but you know, I'm just about that. It's going to be, I'm going to have hello Koshe Dreva. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Okay, so let's set that over there. This is going to take a while, by the way. This isn't a 10-minute. This isn't just a 10-minute tutorial. This is definitely going to take a while, because it takes a bit more than that. Let's set all of these anchor points, and then I can get back to coding, because I get annoyed when these anchor points aren't set. I don't even know why that's the case. I thought that I had them all arranged, but you know, I obviously don't. There we go. Okay. This is a bit of a tedious work, but I think that it's necessary. I'm not a Unity expert. It might not be necessary. But you know, for now it is. Maybe somebody in the chat or in the comments in the future is going to tell me something like, hey dumbass, you can do that automatically, or something along those lines. Maybe, I don't actually know. Right, and that should be it. Yes. Okay, everything seems to be in order now. So coming back to what I was saying, this button continue actually toggles daily. And if we look for toggle daily, actually it should be here. Yeah, it should be here. Oh, okay, so we initialize the lives by day streak lives. Why didn't I see the, I just scrolled past it. So that's it. It's not continue that gets clicked, it's toggle daily, but yeah. Okay, so coming back to the code. So this is going to be the free plus the day streak, which is being saved. If you remember from earlier, it's being saved under the day streak in the player prefs. And just in case the day streak lives are bigger than 7, then it gets capped at 7. So it's max. It's a max amount of 7 lives, which means if you play this game more than 4 days in a row, you won't be getting any rewards. But I'm okay with that. I'm going to settle with that. That shouldn't be that big of a problem, I would think, and I would be very gracious and thankful if somebody did play this game for 4 days in a row, other than myself and some close friends that we, because we tested it, and yeah. All right. Let's see. Right, so after this all gets saved and the day streak lives are capped to 7, max 7, I'm going to set some visual elements which you can find in the daily reward panel. Has a daily reward script. Let's see, so this is the panel, and then it has a script with days and lives, and I'm going to use that daily script over here to set the strings of the set days and set lives, to set the text elements, the strings for it. Right, so let's go ahead and see. I'm actually going to delete this. I don't think that it's needed right now. Let's get back over here, because what I wanted to do was check out what happens if I say today.day minus last day play.day, and then I'll debug that. So let's go ahead and see just what happens. Let's not maximize on play. And this should clear out by itself. There we go. It's 0 days, right? Because I've played it earlier today, and it just does a today minus yesterday and all of that stuff. Right, so what should happen, just in case these days do, just in case today is bigger than the last day, and this should be just an integer, so it shouldn't be a problem anymore. What should happen is it should increment it the way that it should, which means that tomorrow on the 3rd it should find that the days delta is 1. Now what happens when this number is negative, because it can go negative in case yesterday was the 28th. You know, it was yesterday when I last played, it was 28, and then I try to subtract from 1 or from 2, 28. It goes negative, right? So if it goes negative, I'm going to go and say if days delta smaller than 0. Actually, you know, yeah, I'll need to modify it here, because if I don't do it here, then the switch case is going to default into day streak gets 0, right? So I wouldn't want that to happen. So just in case days delta is smaller than 0, then I need to look at the month as well. So that means that I will need another player pref, which is going to be the month. And let's do that. String last month, and let's get that. Player prefs dot get string last month played. I'll do the same with that as well. Wait. Oh wait, that was the... I'm such a dumbass. That's not what I actually wanted to do. Actually... Actually, this is going to be a day. No, I need the whole date. I need the whole date. Else... No, I actually need just the month and the day, right? So let's see, how should I do this actually? What should be best? I'm trying to think over here. Let's have this. No, actually, let's do a today dot month. Oh, okay, I messed that up. Month? Yes, we do have a month. I'm actually curious to see what dot month yields, how that works. Free. So that's a number. Okay, that's good. That's actually perfect, I would say. Let's go ahead and what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm actually going to save the day and the month, both of them. Yeah. And you know what? They're not going to be strings anymore. Because there's no point in going to string. Let's call this last day. And it's going to be a string as well. And if it's going to be... Well, it can't be 0. There's no day 0, right? Can it be null? Okay. I'll have to check this. Can I actually do this? I'll have to check this. Reinstall it on my... Actually, that might not work. I'll have to see how this should work. But anyway, it's going to be integers. And one is going to be get integer, both of them. Get int. Let's go with get int. And let's copy that and let's make a last month. It's going to be last month played. And that should be it, because even if the year, let's say you played on the 30th of December last time, or the 31st of December last time, and then you play on the 1st of January, even if both the days and the months are negative, then that means that the year switched, right? So it shouldn't be that big of a problem anymore. And so I don't need to remember the years. So let's get the month, let's get the day. We'll have this as well. Last day played is going to be Steam dead time parsed. No, I'm actually not going to do that. I'm just going to say last day, because I don't need to do this anymore. Today is today already being... Wait, did I forget to copy today? Well, you see, that's a bit of a problem. So this is going to be an integer, and then this today is going to be, every time you restart the game, it's going to be reinitialized as well. Okay. And I'll keep it like that, formatted in date time, because I want to get both the day and the month from it. So that should be better like that. And last day played is going to be an integer. Another integer is going to be last month played. Okay, and let's go back down. Right, so what we'll do now is we're going to say if last month played is null, then you get the date dot month, else you just get last month, and this is going to be called last month played. There we go. Good, so we've initialized our stuff over here. Okay, then we're going to do a delta between today.day and last day played, and we're going to see, let's do both of them. Int months delta is going to get today dot month minus last month played. There we go. So we have both of them. So just in case the delta of the days is negative, then we'll check if months delta. Then we'll switch the months delta. Switch months delta. No, it should have had a. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So we'll have a switch case with months delta. Case it's 0. This shouldn't be possible. I mean, if the days delta is negative, it shouldn't be possible that the month actually should be possible. Just this is going to sound weird, but the only case that this is going to be possible, that the month's delta is 0 and the days delta is negative, is when you played the same month last year but a couple of days later than today. Does that make sense? Yeah, but I'll just have it in here, and this is going to be the damn. You played last year, this month. This is going to be this, so that I understand why I have it in here. And what it's going to do is it's going to set the days delta to 0. Right? Because no. Yeah, it's going to set it to 0. No, actually, it's not going to set it to anything. It's just going to stay negative, because that means that the day streak has been, too long. The day streak is broken. It's been either too long or too little, something along those lines. I don't even know why I have this case 0 here. Oh, because in case 0, I don't want to reset the day streak to 0, because that means that you just played today multiple times, right? Because this gets recalculated every time you play, and I wouldn't want to set it to 0. I actually want to set it to 0. No, I'm not going to set it to 0 up here. But this means that you've just played today, and I wouldn't want either the day streak to go up or to get resetted, because you might have a day streak. You might have played yesterday and the day before that, and if I reset it to 0, then that's not going to work. Good. So let's go then for case. What's the next case? That's case 1. Case 1 is the normal case when played last month played last the month before, which just means yeah, uh, you last played in, let's say, February, and now it's March, and it's a 1 month difference, and in that case I'm going to set the day streak to nothing. I'm just going to leave it like that so that it defaults. No, wait. Okay, crap. Okay, here's where stuff gets complicated, because the day streak might have been, I have to check how many days each month has, right? So this is where things get complicated. Let's leave that for later. Complicated. And then there's the default case, which means it's neither 0, neither 1. So it's not this month. It's not last month. It might be 2 months ago or whatever. And in that case, it should just go back to day streak. Or it might be negative, right? What if it's negative? Oh, crap. So in the default case, I have to make another check. If months delta is smaller than 0, then I have a bit of a problem that a complicated problem that I also have to take care of. Because this means that you played on the in December last year and then in January this year again. So you'd have to do something along those lines. Right, I hope this makes a little bit of sense. This I don't think I need anymore. Right, so let's go ahead and set the strings. Set integer, not the strings anymore. It's going to be today. No to string nothing. Oh, today.day. Sorry. And let's set the last month played as well. Last month played. It's going to be today.month. So there we go. We reset these every time that you play. And this should, in theory, do the right stuff, I would say. Okay, so let's go ahead and do case 1. So just in case that happened, what could the differences be? Now that's a bit of a problem. How am I going to solve this now? Because this seems a bit of a problem, because the problem is when you go from, let's say March. Like March only had 28 days. So when you do 1 minus 28, you get 27, right? Minus 27. But when you do 31, like December has, minus 1, 1 minus 31, then you get minus 30. So in that case, you would need to actually you need to actually normalize the dates. That's not good. So I am actually going to need a last date played. Yeah, I'll actually have to do that. Right. So let's go ahead and have another player prefs. Player prefs dot set string this time. Last date played. No, I'm actually going to have just one. Yeah, I'm actually just going to have one, and I'll just use both of them. So let's go back up here. I know that I'm switching a lot, but you know, that's how programming is. That's how Mafia works in this. Phew. I don't need these actually. I don't need these. Let's go and have a date time. It's going to be called last date played, and it's not going to get anything. Okay, and let's use that. Let's use that. Right, and I'll have a string last date. It's going to get player prefs dot get string of what is it called, last date played. Oh, that should be it. And then I'll have to go last date played gets fuck, how did I do that? I actually okay, I'll need to search this because I forgot. Unity get player prefs date, save current time to quit. Player prefs dot set string. Wait, oh, I should do this to string when I save it. I forgot. Today dot to string. There we go. So I need to save it as a string, and then I'll need to parse it back. Player prefs get string. No. Where was that? Let me just fix this in the meantime. Oh, shouldn't do that there. Sorry. And yeah, let's get this out of here. Okay. So this, I have to parse this. Parse date time. How was that? Date time dot parse. Yeah, that was it. This was it. I don't think that I need to do this any longer. Let's see if that is correct. Dot day, and this is going to be dot month. Okay, and let's go ahead and debug dot log, just make sure that everything works correctly, and I'll debug last date played and days delta and months delta. Okay, let's hope that that word doesn't work. Log takes, oh, okay, I see how it is. How can you do this? Is that, wait, does it work? No, it doesn't. I hate that it doesn't work, but you know, the months delta and the days delta should be 0 theoretically. There we go. Nope, that's not correct. And it's starting? Why is it starting? Wait. String was not recognized as a valid date time. Why? Oh. Okay, that's not correct. Okay, that should be correct now. Let's try it again. But it might be botched because I saved. No, okay, it worked. Okay, there we go. So that's the 7:20 7:20 7:12 7 p.m. 12 minutes in 20 seconds, and if I go again, it should be some seconds more. Actually, it can be some seconds more because that's the first time that it initializes it. But now it was 46. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Right, so getting back into it, this seems to be working correctly. Let's see if that works as well. Days delta should be 0. There we go, and I would say month delta should as well be 0, and shouldn't be concerned or too concerned about that. Yep, looks good. So let's go ahead and delete that. So we've initialized our stuff. Why did I need the whole date time? Well, in the case when it's complicated, I am going to use the calculus that I used before, which is I'm just going to have to check if the difference in hours is bigger than 24 between last day played and today. Because if it's bigger than 24, then I just need to reset. I just need to reset the day streak, right? Okay. So this is complicated. Well, not anymore. Let's see. I will do an integer of calculate hours, and this is going to be okay, that's already no, it only resets the date just in case it wasn't today. So it's going to be today minus last date played, and all of that is going to be transformed into hours. There we go. And now I'll say, so what's this? This is 1. This is case when played last month and the month played last the month before. Oh, played last the month before. Okay, so this is the case where there's a difference of 1, and then there's a negative difference 1 between the months and the negative difference between the days, and I'll calculate the hours. And in case the hours are bigger than 24, if there's more than 24 hours between the two dates, so if calculate hours is bigger than actually let's go with smaller. If it's smaller than 24, let's do 24 hours. No, 24. Yeah, it should be 23 days if you play within the same day, so to say, more or less. So if it's smaller than 24 hours, then that means that you've played exactly the day before, right? So you've played on the 28th of February and on the 1st of March, right? That means that days delta gets 1. It's going to be set to 1. If not, it's going to remain at the negative that it is, and then it's going to go into the default, and it's going to say day streak gets 0. Great. Right, so now let's go to the other complicated case, which is default for the months. Default for the months should mean played last year. Last year or more than 1 month ago. It could just be that you played, I don't know, you've played like on the 1st of January this year, last, and then today again. So that will yield. Oh, I'm not checking now. That's a bit of a bug. I'm only checking if the days delta is okay. I'll have to check the months delta as well within this switch case, but I'll get to that soon. So if the months delta is smaller than 0, then that means that you've played last year, and in that case I will need to see. So the only overflow that you could possibly have that's of interest to us is when it's 11. It's minus 11, which means you've played in December and then again in January. So that should be taken into account. And in that case, yeah, in that case, I will go for if month delta equals minus 11, then we'll set the days. Then we will. Well, damn, we'll have to calculate the hours again, because it might just be that you played at the beginning of December. Not at the beginning, towards the end, like, I don't know, you played on Christmas, 25th of Christmas, and then you played on the 1st of January again. So both are negative. You have a negative days delta, and you've got a negative months delta, I would say. And in that case, you would need to see the same as before. Let's put that in. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. So in that case, I will. Okay, let's declare this one up above over here, just in case. Okay, so that should work. So I'm just going to do a flat out search of the hours. In case you've played within the last 24 hours, then the days delta is going to go back to 1. So else, if it's whatever else, but you know, smaller than 0, which means minus 10, minus 9, minus 5, that's like you played, I don't know, you played last year in August and this year in February, then it's going to be like minus 8, minus 9, whatever it is going to be. I don't actually know them by heart. So it doesn't matter. Then that's a broken days play streak for sure. And so that's if it's not 0, if it's smaller than 0, and if it's bigger than 1. What if it's bigger than 1? Well, if it's bigger than 1, you've played. Well, if it's bigger than 1, then you've definitely played like last year in, let's say you've played last year in August yet again, and then this year you've played, I don't know, now in February. So it's obviously going to be, you know, no, actually that's not how it works. If it's bigger than 1, then you've played then 1 month more than today. So it's still going to be a negative days and a negative day, what is it, days delta, and if it's a negative days delta, then it goes into day streak 0, and that's it. Right, okay, good. Next off, so I would say that this should work for the months. Next off, we get that the day streak, and then we switch it as well. So there's one case that I haven't covered, which is if you've played on the last day, one day earlier on the last month, which means if you've played on the 1st of February, then this should register as a day streak, even though you haven't played since, it's been 1 month since you've last played, right? So that shouldn't be the case. And the only time that I'm interested is here in case 1. So if months delta equals 1, do I actually want that? No, that's actually going to be, it's going to override itself from over here. Okay, so let's get the day streak before I do that calculus over here. Let's get it over here up top. I actually use that anywhere else except here. No, not really. Whatever, so this, yeah, this shouldn't actually be here. That doesn't actually matter. Let's put it over here. What? Oh. Okay, that works. Okay. I hope it doesn't break when you first get it. Okay, let's do that again as well. So let's check it. If day streak, I don't even know how it would null. Can it be null? If it's null, then it gets 0. No, just whatever. Yeah, let's just do it like that, just in case. Right, so let's get back to it. Day streak. So here we go. If the months, okay, so what I was doing was I was calculating. I don't even know that I'd want to do that actually. Because there is a no, so I'll just set the day streak here, whatever. You know what? Whatever. Because I'm sure because these are 2 months apart, right? It's today.month minus last month. So if it's, yeah, so these are 1 month apart. And if it's 1 month apart and the hours since last played and today are less than 24, then that means that you've played yesterday, right? So theoretically, this should just increase the day streak, and I shouldn't go into the other switch case for the days delta. So I'm not actually going to do that. Right. And in this case, if the days are negative and it was on the 11th. Actually, why am I calling this? I'm such a dumbass. I should just call this case 11. Case minus 11. Played in December last. So if you've played in December last, then it's going to be 11 because it's 1 minus 12. That should be 11, right? Minus 11. And in that case, I'm just going to get these. There we go. And it's just going to do the exact same thing as before, because I don't want it to set, I don't want to set it to that. Right? Right. Okay, good. And the default case is just, actually it's just going to be empty. Nothing happens. In the default case, nothing happens. Okay, good. Nice, let's get back to it. So in case you've played on the 1st of February last month and today, the month, right, so if month delta doesn't equal 0, no, if it equals, yeah, if it equals 0, then you get a day streak increase. If not, you don't get it. Else, not only that you don't get it, but it resets to 0 because you've skipped a day, right? Okay. Oh, and I should put the else's as well in here, because that's what you get for not playing. So this is a lot more complicated than I expected it, but I'm pretty confident that it's going to work. So in the case that you've played last month, the month before, but it wasn't just one day apart, then it's going to be reset, right? So the same with if you've played in December, but not on the 31st, and then on the 1st. So if the two of them were further apart from each other, then you're also going to get a day streak of 0, day streak reset of 0. Good. And then when you just check the normal days, if the day streak has been, if it's 0, then it means that you've just played today. If it's 1, it's a difference of 1. But in the case that the month's difference isn't 0, which means you didn't play today and tomorrow, you played last month on this day and today, tomorrow, something along those lines, then it should also be reset to 0, and if it's bigger or smaller, it should be reset to 0 as well. Oh, okay, so what I'll also do, because this is going to reset it, or if the days delta remains negative, then it's going to get reset to 0 in these cases, right? So what I want to do is, yeah, I'll need to do this. Wait. And I'll need to reset the days delta to 0 as well, else it's going to just get reset the next time as well. So you know, that's not nice. It's almost what I wanted. There we go. Because I wanted to go in this case when it where it doesn't do anything, and not in the default case where it resets it. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. And the default case for played last year or more than 1 month ago, it's just going to stay. I mean, nothing's going to change. It's just going to keep the negative days delta, and then it's going to go here in day streak gets 0. Okay, so that should work, and as you can see, this is quite a bit of code. Let's see if we have any errors first and foremost. Okay, there doesn't seem to be any errors. And wow, it's been 1 hour. That's actually a lot more than I thought it would take me. But that's coding for you. And I didn't want to use some script off the internet or something along those lines, because that would have just felt like, you know, it would have taken me more than 1 hour to understand what those guys did and see if everything checks out and if it works as I would have wanted it to work. the easiest way to do these kinds of bonuses is to just do them out like with a set amount of hours, because it's just so easy to get the date time, the full date time, and just subtract from each other, and the difference you can just parse to hours or parse to minutes or parse to whatever. I mean, if you parse to days, it's not as good because I don't know how well it does the rounding. I presume that it doesn't do rounding very well, because that's probably why it didn't work, um, um, or rather it doesn't work right now, I would say. And yeah, I would say that should be it. If you want to make this more secure, because you would obviously maybe want to have an online game, maybe, and in that online game you wouldn't want players to just cheat out of their daily rewards or stuff like that. And this just, by the way, this just keeps the track. If this whole code, you can just copy it, print screen and copy the code if you'd like. It's not that much, it's like, I don't know, 100 lines, no, not even 100 lines, it's like 70 lines of code, less, 60 something lines of code. So this whole thing, what it does is it keeps track if you've been playing every day in a row, right? What was it called? I think I said, yeah, consecutive. If you've been playing consecutive days, one after the other. So it doesn't matter at what time of day you've played last day, as long as you also played today, it's going within the 24 hours that you have. It's going to count as a consecutive day played, right? Right. And I hope that it works. I might, if it doesn't, I might do a follow-up video. I'm going to check it these days. I don't think I can actually modify my date time. Oh, I can actually do that. So let's go ahead and pretend that it's going to be tomorrow. How do I do that? Change. No, not formats. Off. Change. Okay, and let's pretend that it's already tomorrow. So this should be like the first thing that I'm doing right now. There we go. 1 day. And you have 4 lives. So it seems to be working right now. Okay. Okay, I shouldn't be playing now. Okay, so let's do that again. Let's go ahead and say that it's actually the 4th now. So that should be 2 consecutive days, right? Right. Two consecutive days. 5 lives. Nice. Let's go ahead and say that it's the 5th. And now let's go from 7:34 p.m. to a.m. Just like a joke. Let's see if that actually works as well. So it should be 3 consecutive days, and it shouldn't count that you played in the night and then in the morning as well. Right? Right. There we go. It's 7:45 a.m. on the 5th. 3 days. Nice. And there we go. Okay. Let's do one more. Let's go to the 5th and go back to PM. The 6th. Sorry, the 6th. Let's play. 4 consecutive days played. Continue. You've got full lives, 7 lives. Maximum amount. Great stuff. I might do something with the multiplier as well. You might just start off with a higher multiplier if you'd like. I mean, I don't think that you'd like that because the game gets harder the higher the multiplier goes. But I might actually, because at this moment the game goes from 1 to 20 in multiplier, and that's the amount of points that you get per egg caught. So it's a direct dot x or dot or x or multiplier function. Let's change this one more time. Let's go for the 7th. So this time it should be consecutive days played plus 4 plus. Oh, it's 5. Okay, it's 5, but it still get only a bonus of 4, right? Because there's no way for you to get more than that. Okay, and now let's go for, that was the 7th. Let's go for the 9th. See what happens. It should break. It should be, there should be no more multiplier. There we go. It's 0, and when you start, 0, only 3 lives, 0 bonus. So it seems like it's a success. Now I'm just going to want to change it back, obviously. Let's go to the 2nd. Today was the 2nd, right? Yeah, I think so. And let's set time automatically as well. Yeah, Saturday. I don't know why it's taking so long. Come on, Microsoft, work harder. What is the big deal with setting time automatically? Anyway, this should be the 2nd, and I'm curious to know what is going to happen. It's going to be negative, and it should be a 0 consecutive days played with no error. That's it. That's correct. Okay. So this seems to have fixed it. Now, do I want to do the special cases that I mentioned? The logic seems pretty clean and obvious. I don't think that it's necessary, to be honest. This video has already gone for far too long, or much longer than I first expected it to go. Whatever, let's just do it. Yeah, let's just go for it. So let's change the time and let's go back. Let's go. So now it knows that it last played on the 2nd of March. Let's go back to February the 3rd. Actually, I need to go in. I need to go. Wait, is this no? This shouldn't be a problem. I need to go forward in time, so I need to go to April the 3rd, right? Because it's, yeah, I need to go to April the 3rd. Let's change that and see if we get a a bonus of 1, which it shouldn't be, because it should just go here. Yeah. Nope, it's 0. Okay. Yep, 0. That's good. What else? Oh, end of the month. End of the month. So let's set it to. Wait, did it just go? Windows, are you? No, it's March. Oh, it's March. Okay, okay. So let's go to February. No, actually, let's go to. Wait, what did I do? Why was that in February? No, don't set it automatically. Damn, that took so much time. So it's March 2nd. Let's go to April the 3rd. Let's check that again. 8:42 p.m.? That's not correct. Windows, what are you doing? Anyway, I'll reset that. Okay, no. Let's do this properly. So let's go to March the 2nd, and it's 7. Thank you very much. 7:42 p.m. Saturday, March 2nd. So this is the correct time and date. Let's run the game. Let's maximize and play, just to have a bit of fun. There we go. 0 days played. And today should be that day. Yes, and then we'll change it to April the 3rd, which is going to be 1 day, but more than 1 month difference. Let's change that. So let's see if this gets tricked into believing that it's 1 day. It's not. Good. Now let's get to, well, I don't know, March the 31st. Let's play it. 0 days played. And then we'll go to April the 1st. Let's have a joke. And it should be 1 day. There we go. And the last case that I need to do right now is going to be the year. Let's go to December the 31st, 2018. Woo! It's gonna be New Year in about 4 hours. Not. Let's play. 0 days played. And then let's switch it back to January 1st, 2019. There we go. And this should be 1 day played as well. There we go. Looks good. It really looks good. It really looks like it's working as it's supposed to. And the other thing that I might want to do is go to December 30th, 29th, whatever. No, not 2019, 2018, sorry. 2018. There we go. Okay, let's play it once. 0 days played. And then go to January 1st or 2nd or 3rd or whatever, because the days is going to be different anyway. And let's go to that, January 1st, yet again. And it shouldn't say that it's the same, like it's... Okay. That's oh. Wait. Okay, did I mess that up? I might have messed that up. Let's go back. December 28th, 2018. Is it saved? It's saved. Play. 0 days played. So let's see. Did I actually mark this up? January. What? That's not out. I've been messing with my Windows so much that it's probably fucked up. I'll need to check that. Okay, it looks like... Oh damn, I'm actually messing with YouTube as well. It says that I've been live for minus 63 days and 22 hours. Oh crap. Okay, so messing with the date and time is not a good idea, folks. I don't even know if I'm live anymore. What is this? Okay, January 1st. So does this still give me one? Okay, it does. So it means that I have a bug that I need to take into consideration. Okay, let's see. It says that the days are negative. Days delta is negative. Then we go to the months delta, which should also be negative. Maybe it doesn't work with case 11. Okay, let's switch back to the normal time, date and time before I screw myself even further. So it's March 2nd, okay? OBS, stop being weird about it. Okay, it's March 2nd. I probably shouldn't have been doing these experiments now, but you know, whatever. Okay. Okay, so what happens is, I'm curious if YouTube is going to get back to normal time. Oh, look at that! The time was going backwards. It's saying that I've been live for a backwards amount of time. I hope that I haven't gone offline in the meantime. Anyway, so the days delta is negative, right? Because it's like 1 minus 29, that's minus something. And then we'll have to switch the months delta. And in that case, it's going to be 0 or 1 for because it's the same stuff, right? So it's today's month. That's 1 minus the last month play dot month, which is 12. That should be minus 11 if I'm not mistaken. Uh, let's go ahead and debug this. Debug.log months delta. Actually, let's debug both of them just to be sure that I'm doing stuff correctly. And let's go for days delta. Let's debug them both. Okay. And so there's two things that might go wrong. It might not go into this. No, actually it does go into here because it does do a streak plus plus. So okay, so this doesn't work properly then, I would say. So let's go and debug this as well. Debug.log. Okay, so I've been streaming for 1 hour and 16 minutes. We're back. Let's go with the calculate hours stuff and see if this is what it mocks up, because it might. It just might be. If it's less than 24 hours. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. So we're going to have to, let's just see if this works. Stop maximizing. One and two. Oh, because it was the first of yeah, it was the first of January. Okay. So that was the last time that I played. Let's go ahead and do that again. Boom, it's 0 and 0. Okay, that's good. Let's change time and date once more. Let's go for 2018, December 27th. That should work, right? Actually, let's go for December 3rd, 30th. Okay. Okay, let's go for that. Okay, let's play. This should be negative 28. What? Does it not go negative? 8 months. Does it not go negative? 'Cause that's a big of a... Wait, what? So it should be today minus next day. Oh, that's correct. That's correct. Sorry. That's correct. Okay, so that was that. Let's play it again. Look at that. I've been live for minus 61 days. There we go. 0 0. Okay. Let's change it now to 2019 January 1st. Let's change it back. Happy New Year. Minus 29, minus 11, and then 0. Okay, so that's what fucks up. So this calculate hours over here doesn't actually work as it should. Why is it that... It's a double. Hmm. This actually just gets the days, doesn't it? Let's do a 2. Um, it makes a double total hours. Is this what I want? Total hours. Wait. To local time to long to short to string to universal time compared to. Okay. Okay, so the logic that I implemented was okay. So this needs to be a double then. Calculate hours. Okay, let's make it a double. Right? No, don't cast anything. Just work. Okay, it doesn't go in that switch case anymore. Come. Okay. There we go. Change back. And let's see what happens now. Okay, so that's actually what I wanted. So I want a total hours, which is it shows me 48 hours and something along those lines. So this should also work for the 30, 40. No, because it's a double. Actually, more than 48 hours. It's 48 hours and a bit, because it's okay. Right. So I'm going to go with 25 hours. Okay. And then this. Let's go with 25 on both, and it's going to be total hours, and this should work properly now, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go and see. Okay, last time that I'm going to check this, because it is quite annoying. And first off, I'm going to check for the normal use case when I actually did play on the 31st and then on the 1st again. Okay, let's go for the 1st of January now. So that should work with one consecutive day played. There we go. And then let's check it again with 2018 December 30th. 0 and 2019 January 1st. Yeah, and just for having a blast, let's go with January 1st. That was the last time that I played, and then let's go for February 2nd. This should also not work. There we go. And then let's have February 28th. Actually, let's go for February 27th. And March 1st. This shouldn't work. And then February 28th. And March 1st. One day played, that's correct. And now let's finally switch back to our current date of March 2nd. Let's set time automatically as well. Play the game. 2 days because we've already had one before and it was one day after the other. 5 lives. Everything seems to be working just fine and dandy. And that should be it because I'm coming up on 1 hour and a half. So this has been highly interesting, especially to myself, since I did not know that I was going to mess up the live dashboard on YouTube. And you guys can't see this, but I did. I saw it, and I don't even know if it actually recorded everything. I'm actually quite curious if it actually recorded everything. So this goes to show that OBS doesn't actually get the time from universal time, you know, like from the internet or something. It just gets it from your local computer, which actually makes sense because you wouldn't want OBS to be reliant on the internet. You might want to record while you are offline, but it should be nice of them if they had an implementation which also checked the internet for the time first and foremost. And what I was going to say before I started messing around with the time and date was that if you guys want to make this, if you're making a multiplayer game and the daily rewards bonus is, you know, it needs to be checked so that it doesn't get cheated, you probably want to set the time according to your server time, or check it against your server time, something along those lines first and foremost. Or just have this logic that I made over here on your server and not on your client. Since it's a multiplayer game, then the players should be online to play it. They shouldn't be able to just open the game without internet being or the server being accessible to them. Or maybe, you know, just give them the daily bonus when they get online. You know, have the check done like that. Or alternatively, what I found was, I think over here, is to get the, or maybe not even over here, I don't even remember exactly. Yeah, so there's a way, if I'm not mistaken, for you to get the time from the internet while you're running the game, so it won't actually, but you know, again, it has the mobile phone has to be connected to the internet for that to work. So if the player just shuts off the internet completely and just modifies the date and time of the device, then it's going to get screwed as well. So what I recommend is to have this logic for calculating the days for the daily on your backend, on your server. Right, so that has been me for tonight. Thank you to everybody for watching and listening. Hopefully this video didn't get chopped off into small little parts. I don't think that it did. Maybe. And I think that Google is a bit smarter than OBS, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, thanks again for watching and listening. I am building a small Discord community which you can join for free, obviously. It's in the link below. If you'd like to check out Eggyoke, it's also in the link below. I will be posting this update to it, in which I fixed the daily bonus functionality, and yeah, and maybe I'll have it I'll take it out of open beta and into release mode soon, the coming week or so. And hopefully you guys will like it and play it, and if not, just leave me feedback. Leave a like on this video if you liked it. If leave a dislike if you did not like it. A comment would as well be great. And thank you again for watching and listening, and hopefully I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.